Oh, greetings and welcome, I guess. I seem to have misplaced myself in Silent Hill Biohazard 4 kind of place, so there's that. Not good, but on the other hand, it makes Halloween seem more realistic, right? Anyway, since I'm here, it only seems fitting that we're about to talk about an old tale from way back when. The Headless Horseman.
Ichabod Crane.
No, not that version, you know, the newer one. The one that is obviously not made by Disney.
Came back to clean the head.
No, not that one either. I'm talking about the third one. Well, shit, there's too many horsemen. I'm talking about the Night of the Headless Horseman, the CG movie.
This movie, based on a famous story, is from 1999, and it really shows. The animation is bad, the CG is terrible, and it's not that exciting.
Which is rather fitting, since all I could get to watch it on out here is this shitty ass TV. Don't ask how it works out here in no man's land. I believe it's just cursed.
Well, the movie starts up eerie enough in a dark and stormy night going through a graveyard where we see our main protagonist Ichabod Crane, who's being chased by the Headless Horseman.
Well, that is a rather short movie then. Straight to the climax, huh? Wow. I mean, in the original story, at least the one Disney presented to me, they always kept the death a secret, you know. Did Ichabod survive? Did he die? But here? Nope. It's just straight to the killing.
You don't mean, sir, that it happened here?
I tell you truly, young Mr. Irving, it was here.
Oh, it was just a background story for a guy we don't know and can't get to know now. Cool.
We now see Ichabod Crane, voiced by William H. Macy. He's talking to Mr. Van Ripper, voiced by
Mike Hammer? How the hell did they get him in here? Seriously? Was the Joker role not paying enough for you, Mike?
Yeah, surprisingly enough, there is some familiar names all the way through this movie, but we'll get to them as they are introduced. As Mark and William are trotting through the forest, we see what appears to be ghosts hanging in there.
You won't be afeard to look there. There it was, they hung over.
Now, I'm not saying this is a kick in the ass for the original story. All I'm saying is the original story kept, whether it was real or not, in the shadows, you know, shrouded in mystery. This, however, doesn't in the least.
We then move on to Katrina Van Tassel, voiced by Tia Carey.
Again, how in the world did they manage to get her in the movie? She was in Wayne's World, for crying out loud.
Let me stand next to your fire.
She's accompanied by Brum Bones, voiced by Luke Perry.
Oh, come on, for such a shitty looking movie? They sure has a lot of those great names.
Johnny, no!
They talk about the only thing boys and girls can talk about together.
Wait.
Marriage.
Let me look more closely at my hand. Yes, something is missing. What is it? Could it be a wedding ring?
And how Brum is a jerk that doesn't want to commit. I mean, she's only the richest girl in town. And might just be me, but it's hard to listen to what she's saying when the designers obviously had their minds elsewhere.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Exactly.
But not before long, Ichabod comes in to interrupt.
This winter might be a fine time for a wedding. That is to say, if there were two someones of like mind.
How could he hear that from that far away? Sure, I mean, they don't have all that hustle and bustle we have today, but still.
Ichabod introduces himself in the weirdest way possible.
Which gentleman would you be? Let me guess. Perhaps the new schoolmaster, Mr. Ichabod Crane?
Ichabod Crane at your service, ma'am.
I don't know if this is bad acting, bad directing, or if none of them just gave a fuck.
It's so lousy paced and the delivery is off. There's, so to say, nothing good about it. And that is not something you're used to from these actors. But nevertheless, Ichabod offers Katrina singing lessons.
Oh, I'd love to take singing lessons. Could we begin now?
It is possible.
Oh great, she had an excellent voice in Wayne's World.
She's a babe!
I can't wait to hear her in this.
Maisie. saying grace. How sweet the sound.
Okay, I'm blaming direction on this one. How can you turn this into this?
How sweet the sound.
It's not possible.
If I should guess, the director was just eyeing her down when she came in to record. I mean, with the rag of Katrina, I believe they are just horny hounds, all of them.
That's you? Or the snake?
But enough of that.
Brom doesn't like this one bit. And you know, to get back at Brom for not marrying her, Katrina invites Igapod in for dinner.
I wonder what's for dinner.
Ham! It's ham! A baking ham I smell from the house.
So, while they're sitting down to eat, Igapod talks book smarts, and of course the family can sort of see how much of a weasel he is.
Tain't puddin', 'tis ham before you.
Whoa! It's a real shame it's only the Headless Horseman that's headless in this movie.
I mean, come on, who thought that this face even looked passable? Seriously, anyway, this is Katrina's father, which makes little to no sense, unless she's adopted. He's voiced by Jeff Benet.
Oh, come on, Johnny Bravo? Really? We already got your cameo guy, Luke Perry. Did we really need the main attraction too?
Seriously, this almost feels like a great voice actor first. They decided to get together and just shit around.
Hey, they're rich and famous. Even that crab is worth the weight in gold.
Anyway, Igapod gets a pie in the most awkward way possible and is sent home. After a while in the city, Igapod closes in on Katrina and we finally get to hear the origin of the Headless Horseman.
I'm sorry, I must have accidentally put on the Warcraft 2 trailer. My bad. Let me fix it.
Head of this year's battle was a mingling.
No, it's still the Headless Horseman apparently. Well, that's odd, but you gotta admit, they do look kinda similar.
Anyway, here we see the Headed Horseman as a relentless killer.
I surrender, please.
Well, if you actually tried to look him straight in the face instead of bouncing your head around like that, you might actually... Oops, it's too late. I tried to tell him.
Anyway, it ends with the guy losing his head and we are at the end of the story.
No, the story of the Headless Horseman. There is more. You know, telling the story of the Headless Horseman within the Headless Horseman is just damn confusing.
We have a scene of Katrina bitching about Brom and well, that's the end of that. We are now at the most creepy and foul things in these bad CG animated movies.
Children.
These children are from hell. Look at them. Creepy. And I even think that little girl is just straight up dead.
What the fuck? Seriously, this is truly creepy. Forget the Headless Horseman. This is truly scary.
Oh, and also for shits and giggles, look at the picture of Sean Pye from, and yes, he's indeed voicing this kid.
I'm sorry, with such a perfect head this Sean guy has, it should be a crime to let him voice something so foul looking as this kid.
Well, enough school, even though it's not the end of the session, the kids run away and Brom comes in to straight out shoot Igapod.
I'd like to shoot a bird or two. Maybe a crane.
Because I got this new gun, and I thought we could go deep in the woods where no one would ever think to look, and just shoot it.
Yeah, that about sums up the whole scene.
So later that day, I guess, we have choir singing.
Because school teachers are also instructing the house of God. Huh.
Anyway, Mischief Brom comes in to scare everyone, especially Igapod, who runs into the organ pipe.
Klutz.
And is rescued by Katrina.
I pulled you out of the church. I saved you.
No, it was the other way around, dude.
No, well, yes. That's what I meant. You saved me.
Figures, a woman rescuing a man in this time period? That would be called witchcraft.
Seeing that Igapod and Katrina are closer than ever, Brom decides to make a deal with the horseman.
Sometimes those spirits may do a man a favor.
Yeah, because keeping the actual paranormal stuff in the mystery is just plain silly. It doesn't build up anything, am I right?
Whether this works or not, we don't know yet, as Igapod is having a teensy nightmare of the pig's tail kind.
Remember how fucked up that movie was? Yeah, this scene is the exact same. Only difference, these people actually tries to scare you.
We see the same graveyard as the beginning and these creepy fucking zombies.
If you will but take me with you, you may exchange.
I need one of your legs.
Unholy hell, man, this is creepy.
Look at how this guy is tilted. He looks like a bad CG drunk man.
So damn terrifying. No, not the whole zombie thing. Seriously, what? No, I'm talking about the actually bad CG parts. That stuff has always creeped me out.
Talk about actual Uncanny Valley, I don't think it gets much worse. Well, Ichabod wakes up from his sleep only to see Stalker McRatface here.
See here, what do you mean by prying at my window in that fashion?
You know, that is actually a legit question. What does Creeper McRatface do there?
Front door was locked and no one answered the knock.
Oh, and it so happens that Ichabod sleeps with an open window in the middle of the night with a crazed, heartbroken psychopath on the loose. You know, the more I dig into this, the dumber it actually sounds.
Anyway, this guy was just inviting him to the hallowed quilt party.
The ladies quilt and the men tell each other stories.
We then cut to the ball and Brom is asked to dance with the girls he's been making eyes at in town.
And making eyes at the local girls?
What does Katrina see in this guy?
And to be honest, as dumb as it would be, I would really hope for a scene similar to that of Disney's.
That just cracks me up.
We're then treated to really early CG dancing with no hand contact, but you can still sort of see the magnetic field in there.
And I'm not talking about chemistry between two people, oh no. I'm talking about the magnetism developers use to stick two character models together.
Anyway, we then hear about Brom's epic tale of bullshittery. I mean, his tale of how he outsmarted the Headless Horseman, of course.
Come on, Daredevil! It's the race of your life and the race for mine! Yeah.
You know he's insane when he bets with those odds.
So the stories are done and Van Tassel does everything in his might to get rid of Ichabod Crane.
A storm? Nonsense! That storm is miles away. Why, it won't be here for some time.
Yeah. I call bullshit on this horribly disfigured man.
And before the big climax of epic proportion, we introduced to all of the ghosts we saw before.
Because mystery, what's that? The 4 meddling kids and the stupid dog take care of that, right?
We are then introduced to the chase of a lifetime, and to be honest,
I must admit that this chase scene looks so majorly different from the rest of the movie that I believe they actually got another company to make it. I mean, just take a look at this. But only some of the chase scene actually looks like something out of a Tim Burton movie. The rest still looks like crap.
And the movie ends like all the rest except Tim Burton's, of course, with Ichabod being decapitated, or did he get away?
We may never know, and that is what made the story so great to begin with.
Didn't I say Brom had to pay a price? To take the horseman's place? Now I wonder if you could do me a favor.
Okay, so in this version of the story, not only did Ichabod actually die, the Headless Horseman is 100% real, and is in fact Brom Bones? Talk about stupid in.
Okay, in all fairness, back in 1999, this might have passed as, well, passable. And for a children's horror flick, it is pretty damn good at what it does. Blood, gore, decapitation and zombies, yeah, pretty nice atmosphere for a ghost tale. And that's also the movie's flaw. It's not a tale of anything, it is basically just, oh, the Headless Horseman is real. He's right over there, hey, let's make a pact with him. The story is nice, although a bit more subtlety would have been appreciated. I still believe that Disney's version is one, if not the best representation of the story. It was 20 minutes long, gave some nice scenery, and unlike this, where everything is dark and gloomy including the characters, the Disney version was only dark when needed to. The characters are true abominations, all of them. Brom or Katrina looks a bit human, but not enough that you won't get nightmares. The scenery is bland and really empty. I feel like Sleepy Hollow is a city of 5. Or just a few, really few houses close to each other. The voice delivery feels really off. The songs, well, the singing lessons are disgusting. They got a lot of big voice actors in this. Hell, they even got Derryberry in this, and she's phenomenal at what she does. But this, I don't know. I certainly blame lack of direction. Seriously, how can you make these godly voice actors give such a lousy performance? It's actually pretty admirable that they could.
So if you like bad movies with shitty CG, by all means go watch it. I mean, you'll get a big kick out of this one. If not, stick to the better versions. I'm the Angrynator, terminating bad movies in obviously not a CG place. Until next time.
How the ladies love me all the day. So who am I to say, ha ha, that they must go away?